Hi everyone, and today I am just going to talk about another really dumb tweet from Gail Simone. Ah yes, Gail Simone, arguably the creator of the SJW culture that is infesting comics right now. So this was a tweet that was made on April 27th, 2016 at 10:32 a.m. Killing Joke happened the way it did because no one involved thought women read comics or gave a shit about female characters. Gail Simone, Gail Simone. Yet another example of someone who is so ideologically railroaded by radicalism that she can't seem to understand just the inept logic behind this tweet. No one involved thought thought that women didn't read comic books. I'm pretty sure Alan Moore and all the creators knew that women read comic books. They just didn't care about the feelings of special snowflakes. Alan Moore has written plenty of female characters that are really good and have really interesting and cool traits. He's not a misogynist. That's fact. And the people who helped create the comic book with them are not either. This is Gail Simone once again trying to use the fact that the reason why she got into comic books in the first place was because she scammed her way into the industry by claiming that comic books were misogynistic. Yeah, the people who act like superheroes have always been SJWs and all that shit, they will, in the second it suits them, will turn around and tell you how misogynistic, racist, and homophobic comic books are, even though they're constantly telling you that superheroes have always been SJWs. It's just so laughable and so comical. So Gail Simone here, to try and hit home the reason why she got into the comic book industry in the first place, which was claiming victimhood and talking about how misogynistic comics were and how they treated women, despite the fact that men get killed way more in comic books and get killed a lot more brutally. Seriously, when it comes to brutal deaths, beatings, and physical violence, men are far bigger victims than women. So, yeah. And for those of you who don't know, women refrigerators is basically the idea that a female character who is romantically or very important emotionally to a male main character gets killed by the villain or a thug or whatever, and it is used to basically give an emotional challenge, a tragic aspect of the male protagonist. And Gail Simone thinks that this is misogynistic and basically makes women throwaway characters, despite the fact that, I don't know, Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, is his biggest purpose in the Spider-Man series is his death and how he inspires Spider-Man to do better and become the hero that we know and love. Oh, I don't know, Jonathan Kent, in some stories he dies, and his death helps send Kal-El along his journey to become the hero that we know and love. Of course, Batman, his parents, his mother and father, in almost every continuity gets shot, and their death inspires him to be a hero. Again, from the very beginning, death has been the death of someone close to the protagonist has always been a huge driving factor in making the main character become the hero that everyone knows and loves. This is a very common aspect of storytelling, especially storytelling that involves heroes, whether it's superheroes, whether it's heroes from Greek mythology, folklore, any sort of story involving a character who goes through the hero's journey as told by Joseph Campbell is going to experience death and tragedy. It's a very common tale that is very relevant and is very impactful to people who read stories, because lots of people throughout the world have experienced their own form of death and emotional hardship. That's what makes us like these stories. And Gail Simone, being the ignorant and ahistorical feminist that she is, cannot realize the importance of these stories and how they impact us emotionally. That's why these stories are so popular and told. She just wants to get up on her soapbox and talk about how misogynistic Killing Joke is because she cannot handle the fact that The Killing Joke is arguably one of the most well-known Batman stories in the mythos of the character. Next to The Dark Knight Returns, The Killing Joke is arguably the second most popular Batman novel that has ever come out. Not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the best, but it is definitely among the top 3 or top 2 when it comes to most well-known or popular Batman comic. So yeah, Gail Simone is just another virtue signaling feminist who doesn't understand the history of the medium and is literally trying to sell an agenda, which is why I, responding to this image, said, this is why I call Gail Simone the Anita Sarkeesian of comic books, because she is the Anita Sarkeesian of comic books. The similarities are there. The biggest difference is the fact that Anita Sarkeesian isn't a game developer. She's just a game critic who's basically, or not even really a game critic, commentator on video games talking about how sexist they are and how they reinforce misogynistic aspects of our culture in America, like the typical professional victim feminist. So Gail Simone is actually a creator. She's a creator. Now, I'm not saying that her work is garbage. She's made a couple comics I like her Secret Six comic book, the original Secret Six before the New 52. I thought that was a really fun and enjoyable book. But the reality is she herself got into the industry by basically claiming that comic books were misogynistic and were hateful against women. That is literally her claim to fame in how she got into the comic book industry. That's the reality. So, and this was, I think, back in the late 90s, or at least the very early 2000s. So this was long before SJW Marvel was even a thing. So you could say that the modern day SJW cancer that is infesting the comic book industry is directly tied to Gail Simone's Women in Refrigerators thesis that she wrote and published online that basically was claiming that DC Comics and all the other big publishers were misogynistic women, despite the fact that women in comic books have been around for a long time and there have been a lot of great female characters. Heck, the first female superheroine was Red Tornado, not Wonder Woman. And Red Tornado was a pretty strong and powerful woman. But of course not. This doesn't fit Gail Simone's narrative. She doesn't even know, she probably didn't even know that the first female superhero was the Red Tornado, because it doesn't suit her narrative and stuff. Because again, like the typical fake feminist geek, she's going to basically do anything to claim victimhood. Seriously, you'll see this among lots of feminists. First, they'll claim that women have always been a part of this industry or this career or whatever. And then the next moment, they'll go in and tell you that, oh, women haven't been a part of this because of misogyny and all that stuff. It's retardation. It's total retardation. And people like Gail Simone either are just too inept and too unintelligent to realize their hypocrisy, or they're intentionally doing it because they have an agenda. It's one or both. It's one or the other. That's basically it. So anyway, this is just yet another example of how Gail Simone is, in my opinion, one of the worst SJW, writers in the industry, based solely on the fact that she basically, in a sense, helped create this culture that we are experiencing now. The culture where Dan Slott is blocking everyone who disagrees with him. The culture where Mark Waid is essentially going around calling comic book publishers trying to get diversity in comics as comic book, dropped by the publisher. It's just, again, this is arguably the progenitor of the SJW culture in comic books, right here, Gail Simone. In my opinion, I believe that. I know some people may disagree with this, but this is my personal opinion. Anyway, I found this to be a really obnoxious, stupid, and unintelligent tweet. But also, I want to give a shout out to Samurai Raccoon for tweeting this screen share or the screen capture of Gail Simone's tweet. So if you guys like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, and also if you like like Samurai Raccoon's tweet on this, then you can also probably go find him on Twitter and give him a follow and stuff. So anyway, this is your King Billy giving another commentary on a stupid tweet by an SJW comic creator, and I hope to see you again soon.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me, I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.